You have selected to perform a straight-in approach and landing. Navigate towards waypoint 1 at a speed of 220 knots. On the HUD, place the flight path marker a bit below the waypoint diamond and initiate a shallow descent to penetrate the cloud layer. Be aware of the crosswind. You may need to point your aircraft slightly to the right, in order to stay on course towards the waypoint. You are now under the cloud layer. Level the aircraft at 3,000 feet. Fly at a speed of 220 knots towards the next waypoint. You have almost reached waypoint 1. Once the UFCP changes to waypoint 2, turn left towards Anapa. Maintain 220 knots and 2,500 to 3,000 feet AGL altitude, until 8 nautical miles from the runway. The distance is shown on the highlighted field. Employ this time to align your aircraft with the runway's center line. You may zoom the view to have a good glimpse of the runway. Now that we are within 8 nautical miles from the runway, on the HUD place the flight path marker over the center of the runway and keep it there during the whole approach. If the airbase is a waypoint, then a small diamond will show at that point. Begin a shallow descent and slowly reduce the speed to slightly less than 200 knots. We are now at less than 200 knots. Lower the flaps, while at the same time keep the nose level, as there will be a pitch-up moment when the flaps are fully extended. Increase the throttle to maintain no less than 180 knots. We are now at less than 180 knots. Lower the landing gear. An E-bracket will appear on the HUD. Increase throttle to compensate for the gear drag. Don't let the speed fall below 170 knots. Use trim to place the flight path marker on the center of the E-bracket. This will occur at around 4.5 degrees of angle of attack, highlighted. Do this while using the throttle to keep the FPM over the first half of the runway. Once the flight path marker is centered on the E-bracket, use throttle to control the position of the FPM. A throttle increase will raise the FPM, while a throttle reduction will lower it. Place the FPM over the first quarter of the runway. The approach speed at this point should be between 140 to 150 knots. Next, set the landing light switch to the on position. The waypoint set at the airbase location is actually on the center of the runway, as denoted by the small diamond on the HUD. Don't focus on it, instead strive to place the flight path marker over the desired landing spot, somewhere on the nearest quarter of the runway. Begin to flare at 100 feet over the runway, pulling back on the control stick until the FPM is placed just below the horizon line on the pitch ladder. Reduce throttle to let the aircraft touch down. Touchdown. 1. Power to idle. 2. Allow the nose of aircraft to fall through by itself. Once the nose wheel is on the ground, apply full forward stick. Apply rudder as required to maintain directional control. 3. Use wheel brakes as necessary, but do not skid the tires. 4. Reduce speed and exit to the right on the first available taxiway. This is once out of the runway, set the landing lights to off. Well done, this is spot number 23. You have finished this training mission. Press spacebar if you want to practice the shutdown procedure. Else, press backspace if you want to end the mission now.